The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Radio Global, Who Knew Productions, JSA Media, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in.
Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. Every Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time. Only on Armed Radio Global.
So the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all. I'm going to ask you to speak into the mouthpiece very clearly.
Check this out.
It is Monday night. It is time for some Straight Talk. This is your host, Matt Hasley, coming at you one day after Valentine's Day. Hopefully you took care of your sweethearts. A lot of stuff going on in the news, but I wanted to start out with we're going to talk about Justice Scalia, Supreme Court of the United States, who passed away. We're going to talk about that here shortly. And also, I got a lot of stuff. Got some new info that came to me about his death that should send shockwaves through the conspiracy people. Just doesn't make sense to me, but you'll have to do is keep tuned in, because it's just, put on your tinfoil hat. Let's get our weird on, because it's getting real.
Mom, can you buy me some cookies for school today?
Finally, as a mother, I want to share about St. Julian's macaroons. I am concerned about my child's health, so I pack for his lunchbox, and after school, I give him St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought cookies. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories, and he really likes them. So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket, or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey there, sexy. This is comedian Jenny Lavoie. You can catch me with the rest of the gang every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Night Talk with Joe Ross, exclusively on Armed Radio Global. Mwah!
Hey, this is your girl, Jay Monique.
And this is Sarah, a.k.a. Chulita Sarita.
And make sure you listen to us on Armed Radio Global. Catch us on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This one's explosive.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey,
Joe Rocks. It's Louis Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauce is not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Hey everybody, Mike Allen here. You can hear me live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on TuneIn Radio. Or you can visit my website at www.ontheairwithmikeallen.com for more showtimes, updates, and replays. So remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, On the Air with Mike Allen, right here on Armed Radio Global.
February 15th, 2016. Over halfway through February already. Wow. Time flies. But February 13th, Justice Antonin Scalia, who was at Cibolo Creek Ranch in Texas, passed away at the age of 79. Well, they didn't hardly get him to the morgue. And the president's already talking about nominating somebody, and they're already talking about not, hearing it, they're going back and forth. They're fighting back and forth. Well, Justice Scalia was a, pretty hard conservative. He was for the Second Amendment. And a lot of people feel that if a liberal judge is appointed, that it will flip the scales to where we'll lose some of our constitutional rights. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but I want to talk more about, involving his death. Well, they interviewed the owner. This was an article written on mysa.com. It was mysanantonio.com, I'm sorry. Cibolo Creek Ranch owner recalls Scalia's last hours in Texas, it says. And it was written by John McCormick. It says, he said the first-time guest, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, was animated and engaged during dinner Friday night, he said, and one of 3 dozen invitees to an event that had nothing to do with law, politics, or anything. So according to the ranch owner, he said just hours later, he would be found dead of apparent natural causes, which media outlets reporting Sunday was a heart attack. And then there's some are reporting, no, there was no heart attack. And they're reporting it was natural causes. No heart attack, it was natural causes. What does that mean? I don't know what they consider natural causes. And it says he was discovered, we discovered the judge in bed, it said. but it said a pillow over his head. His bedclothes were unwrinkled, said Poindexter. He was lying very restfully. It looked like he had not quite awakened from a nap. He said Scalia, 79, did not have a pulse and his body was cold. After consulting with a doctor at the hospital in Alpine, Poindexter concluded resuscitation would have been futile. He contacted federal authorities, at first encountering a series of answering machines because it was calling on the weekend. Ultimately, they became available and handled it superbly, he said. They flew in by helicopter. They told me to secure the ranch, which I did till morning. It said Scalia was just the latest and newsworthy guest to visit the celebrity hideaway that covers 30,000 acres. I've had guests like Mick Jagger, Julia Roberts, Tommy Lee Jones. But the one thing that got me was, and I heard it from, and I can't cite my source, but the source is a very good source. The source told me, I was asking the person, I said it was a little crazy what is going on. This conspiracy theorists are going nuts. And the person told me that says, yeah, to have lying in bed, arms folded across his chest with a pillow over top of his head. That's just not a common way most people go to sleep. I had not heard that his arms were folded across his chest before. That was kind of a shock to me when I heard that. It sends the alarm bells off. And what really got me is I've been watching so many different different broadcasts from, all the different, I'm talking all different types of media, regular TV to, different internet sources. And the conspiracy theories are going crazy. Why they would not want to do an autopsy. To all of a sudden go to the ranch and next thing you know, ends up dead. And everybody goes, they're talking about, well, why wasn't, they pronounced him dead over the phone. And somebody says, well, that's, I talked to Mike Allen. Mike Allen said that, from on air and Mike Allen. He goes, it's very common for them to announce him dead over the phone. I understand it, being a police officer. But this is not just your average death. This is not the guy who worked at the Quick Mart down on the corner and he died in his sleep. This is Supreme Court Justice of the United States, Antonin Scalia. This is a big name. This isn't, these are appointed positions for life. These are people that make decisions whether our constitutional rights are in play or not. Some cases they'll take up and hear, in some cases they won't. If I'll get into it a little bit later, but the NRA is worried. But talking about there's apparently 10 conspiracy theories surrounding the death of Antonin Scalia. It says, and just 10, and this is right now. And first one is they, and I'm not saying these are coming from me. These are coming from, it says, this is coming from Alex Jones. It says President Barack Obama did it. Well, I don't believe he did it personally. No. But it says notorious conspiracy theorist Alex Jones says his gut is telling him that Scalia was assassinated during Obama's unprecedented power grab during his last year in office. Number 2, someone at the ranch might have smothered Scalia with a pillow. This is according to the Dallas Observer. It says number 3. It says Scalia could have been sent to Texas to die by the Illuminati, per Saboteur 365. This is coming out. Number 4. Former Vice President Dick Cheney did it, they say, according to a budding conspiracy theorist on Sean Hannity forums. Number 5. Conservative writer Jack Cahill predicted that Scalia would die in his novel 2006. It says, in which Justice dies from carbon monoxide poisoning, but nobody believes it. It was Chautauqua Rising is the name of the novel. Number 6. Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock on Star Trek, did it, according to conspiracy website Hard Dawn. See, they like to put out these to make it totally ridiculous. According to the Dallas Observer, it said Scalia could have been poisoned. Number 8. The Bush family arranged for Scalia's assassination because the justice was about to divulge their involvement in the September 11th attacks. This is the Aber Report writes. Number 9. Scalia might have been gassed by carbon monoxide, according to the Dallas Observer. And number 10. An assassination killed Scalia on orders from Bill and Hillary Clinton, according to the Saboteur 365. So they cover it all different. I'm sure there's going to be more. More are going to come out. But I think that they should have done an autopsy. They said the family didn't want one, and the judge, denied one. I'm like, the American people want to see it. They want to do but the problem is who's to say they do an autopsy and it's going to come back and, be legit? I mean, who's to say what would be done with it? I mean, even if they did an autopsy, it's not going to bring him back to life. It's not going to change the situation. I mean, it's one of those situations where, if it would be an autopsy that was what you would call independent, then maybe. But it says, this is an article that came out, and this is it's on Before It's News, and it says Scalia hit unravels. The perp left clues on the crime scene on purpose. So they're thinking that this was an actual hit. It says, Justice Scalia, natural death, cui bono, and why they did it. It says, no matter how you look at the unexpected death of Justice Antonin Scalia, something rotten in the state of Denmark. Quite rotten indeed. And this is coming by the article that was written there. Here we go again, another perfect storm where law enforcement, the county coroner, the local judge, and even Scalia's family all made the perfectly wrong moves at the perfectly wrong times. Said Texas judge, Scalia family turned down autopsy. How does such a high-profile death of the longest-serving Supreme Court justice of the United States, jurist, get treated with so much neglect and nonchalance? Except by calculation, pure calculation. There is no question that President Barack Obama greatest enemy of all time was Justice Antonin Scalia. No one, and we repeat, no one even came close to making Obama's life miserable like Justice Scalia did. This is according to this article here. It says, where the fiber of Justice Scalia's very being was made of the same stuff as the U.S. Constitution. And they're talking about the president shreds the Constitution moment to moment. Where the Bill of Rights was a lifeblood of Scalia's body of judicial work, he said the president tears it up daily. For those who initiated in the arcana of constitutional law, it ought to be clearly understood that Justice Scalia held firm to the original intent of the Constitution. It was in this manner that he became the de facto constitutional law professor, schooling the president on profound deficiencies and defects of the deeply flawed understanding of the Constitution. After all, the president has been presented to the world at large as a professor of constitutional law. In fact, it could probably be said that Justice Scalia's genuine commitment to the Constitution was that got him killed. So they're talking. It says the crime scene in the message it sends. Wittingly or unwittingly, the critical clues surrounding the murder are always left at the crime scene. In the case of Justice Scalia, quite untimely demise, it has been reported that a pillow was found on top of his head as he lay on the bed with his clothes on. And I reported from hearing they had his arms crossed over his chest, like you would when you're put in a casket. Just not natural to go to sleep that way. It says, simply put, by placing a pillow over his head, they took his voice. Laying in bed with the clothes on, TB removed his capacity to write his scathing opinions on so many bad decisions handed down by the Supreme Court during Obama's dictatorial reign. It says they feel that he was murdered to open up a spot for a liberal. Scalia was fully cognizant that the independence of the High Court had been severely compromised by the Obama administration, and he litigated against it. Judicially, of course, every step of the way, he found the ongoing and outright interference of the executive branch to be completely unacceptable, at times outrageous. He was not shy at all about expressing the sentiment. He even undertook speaking tours to set the record straight. They asked him, who would he like to have replace him? And he said, I'd like to have somebody that's not going to unravel everything that he's done. Of course. So, it says, State of the Union, February 15th, 2016. And this is, it says, they're talking about even in the remote cases where Scalia may have died of natural causes, his job on the bench was made tremendously difficult by the president. He stood over the Constitution as stalwart sentinel, protecting and founding documents of the United States from incessant attack. You look at our Second Amendment. If a liberal is put on the bench, it could get to the point where we have our freedom of speech taken away and our right to bear arms taken away. I have multiple articles where they talk about about how if our Second Amendment rights, and this is coming from the NRA, it said it puts our gun rights in jeopardy with him dying. It says we are one justice away from the Supreme Court that could harm our Second Amendment rights. The organization plans to spend over $20 million on the upcoming election to push gun rights. It's proven statistically that people having guns reduces crime. It makes everybody an equal. It makes a person that's a lady that's 5'1", 100 pounds, just as tough as a guy that's 6'4", 260. Actually, probably tougher. But you look at it. I see every day. The average person, they don't look at that. They ignore it. They don't want to. What do? You ask them if they look at the news. Ask them if they've seen what's going on. And they go, nope. No. Oh, really? Oh, he died? Oh, what's that going to affect me? You think about, what is it going to do? If we get like Germany, where Merkel let in so many millions of immigrants without vetting them or any process like that, we're going to be in big trouble. I really worry about this country if, they're fighting right now whether they should appoint somebody or not. Well, the Democrats are all in an uproar because they're mad because the Republicans are trying to say that he shouldn't appoint somebody. Well, in 2008 or 7, Chuck Schumer, came out and he said, and this is exact right here, it says, don't confirm any Bush Supreme Court nominee. This is in 2007. Senator Chuck Schumer said in July 2007 that no George W. Bush nominee to the Supreme Court should be approved, except in extraordinary circumstances, 19 months before a new president was set to be inaugurated. We should not confirm any Bush nominee to the Supreme Court except in extraordinary circumstances. Schumer, a New York Democrat, said in prepared remarks to the American Constitution Society, a liberal legal organization. Schumer cited ideological reasons for the delay. They must prove by actions, not words, that they're in the mainstream rather than we have to prove that they are not, Schumer said. So they automatically they forget. And they talk about the Republicans are talking about not, they're going to filibuster the candidate until the new president. Well, apparently the Democrats are scared that they're not going to get elected or something, because then why wouldn't they just wait until one of them becomes president if they're so confident? Then they would be able to select the person they wanted. It's it's ridiculous. In 1960, the Democrats introduced House Resolution Bill that they would not appoint a Supreme Court justice during an election year. And Chuck Schumer in 2007. But they don't remember that. And President Obama doesn't even wait for, Justice Scalia's body to barely even get to the morgue and say, oh, I'm going to appoint somebody. Myself, being former law enforcement, I have plenty of friends of mine that are still in law enforcement. In the last, I don't know how many days it's been, but it's like almost every day or every few days, there's an officer getting shot or an officer getting killed. Before we get into that, I want to talk about a little CIA little thing that was made, and we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about a little CIA toy they have. So make sure you tune back in.
Cookies for school today?
Finally, as a mother, I want to share about St. Julian's macaroons. I am concerned about my child's health, so I pack for his lunchbox, and after school, I give him St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought cookies. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories, and he really likes them. So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey there, sexy. This is comedian Jenny Lavoie. You can catch me with the rest of the gang every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Night Talk with Joe Rocks, exclusively on Armed Radio Global. Mwah!
Hey, this is your girl, Jay Monique.
And this is Sarah, a.k.a. Chulita Sarita.
And make sure you listen to us on Armed Radio Global. Catch us on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This one's explosive.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louis Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauce is not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
Let's get this thing started.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're listening to Sammy V. I mean, I'm not gonna rap or sing or play any sort of music. I'm just here to tell you that you should listen to my new radio show. That's right, my new radio show, live on Armed Radio Global. It's every Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be there and listen to Thoughts for Food, the radio show. Or better known as Candy for Your Ears.
This is Kimmy Pops, and you're listening to Arms Radio, home of the big guns.
Hey everyone, this is Monica Ursino. Be sure to check out my music on WARM, Boston's digital dance station, and you can catch me on Night Talk.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louis Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauce is not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts, so you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
Hey everyone, this is Monica Ursino. Be sure to check out my music on WARM, Boston's digital dance station, and you can catch me on Night Talk with Joe Rocks Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Armed Radio Global.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Hey everybody, Mike Allen here. You can hear me live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on TuneIn Radio. Or you can visit my website at www.ontheairwithmikeallen.com for more showtimes, updates, and replays. So remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, on the air with Mike Allen, right here on Armed Radio Global.
Hey everybody, this is Paul and Jim. Join us on Pod Talk Radio, Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right after Night Talk with Joe Rocks,
where we will be discussing subjects one doesn't say in polite society. We're rude and crude and unwavering in our opinions.
So please tune in to Armed Radio Global, home of the big guns.
Boom!
It was like a shadow in the night. My hair was standing on end. I was frozen in fear. I couldn't believe it. They really are here. Make sure you join the Alien Invasion Response Team. Tune in for the message every Monday and Friday for Straight Talk with Matt Hasley, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, only on Arm Radio Global. Be ready. They're coming.
As we left, right before we went to break, we were talking about the CIA's little toy they have. This is actually in the 1970s. This came out, and it says, this is an article that came out on Prison Planet from Alex Jones, and this is Kurt Nimmo, prisonplanet.com. This is an article came out March 7th of 2012. It says, Andrew Breitbart's media empire undoubtedly posed a threat to the establishment. From the takedown of New York Rep. Anthony Weiner to the outing of USDA Shirley Sherrod and very public revelations about the seamy underside of Acorn. Breitbart was considered a thorn in the side of liberal establishment. But it was his promise to release information that would critically damage Barack Obama prior to the election that really grabbed the attention of the establishment and possibly led to his assassination. This is a story coming out of them. They said that at Firebrand talk show, Michael Savage said the following Breitbart's collapse on Brentwood, California street and subsequent death from apparent heart attack, he would be remiss if he didn't suggest that the liberal Gladfly was assassinated. He says, I'm asking a crazy question, Savage said on his nationally syndicated radio show, but so what? We the people want an answer. This is not an ordinary man. If you don't ask this question, I would be remiss. Others insist Breitbart had a history of health issues and simply collapsed and died from a heart attack, as thousands of Americans do every day. They put Savage, Alex Jones, and many others who pose it, Breitbart assassinations, are engaging in baseless conspiracy theories. However, we do know that the government engages in assassinations of political enemies and has the means to do so without leaving a trace. This is a video that's on there. If you go to Prison Planet and search CIA heart attack gun. And a CIA whistleblower talks about a heart attack gun. It said during Senate testimony in 1975 into illegal activities by the CIA, it was revealed that the agency had developed a dart gun capable of causing a heart attack. At the first televised hearing, staged in Senate caucus room, Chairman Church dramatically displayed a CIA poison dart gun to highlight to the committee's discovery that the CIA directly violated a presidential order by maintaining stocks of shellfish toxin. It said sufficient to kill thousands. It says the Senate web page explains, and you can, there's a highlight for, you can actually follow that link. The lethal poison then rapidly enters the bloodstream, causing a heart attack. Once the damage is done, the poison denatures quickly, so that an autopsy is very unlikely to detect that the heart attack resulted from anything other than natural causes. Sounds like the perfect James Bond weapon, doesn't it? Yes, this is all verifiable in Congress or congressional testimony, writes Fred Burks. The dart from the secret CIA weapon can penetrate clothing and leave nothing but a tiny red dot on the skin. On penetration of the deadly dart, the individual targeted for assassination feels that he's been bitten by a mosquito, or they may feel nothing at all. The poisonous dart completely disintegrates upon entering the target. Burke suggests that Mark Pittman, a reporter who predicted the financial crisis and exposed Federal Reserve misdoings, which led to Bloomberg lawsuits against bankster cartel, may have been assassination with the CIA weapon. Of course, Breitbart's untimely death prior to the release of the information that would damage the presidential campaign of Obama may be purely coincidental. If he was, however, assassinated with a frozen dart that denatures and leaves no trace, chances are we will never know what really happened to him. So people don't realize, I mean, you'd be laying there in bed asleep and it'd be like a mosquito biting you. And if they shoot you right through your clothes, who's going to notice a little pinhole in your shirt or in your pant leg or something like that? Probably not. Probably not going to notice anything. So when you people talk about this and they go, "Oh, you're just a conspiracy theory." Well, why would this lady come out in 1975? And I mean, this is in 75. This isn't even, I mean, nowadays, if they would come out with it now, you look at our current whistleblowers we have right now. He's one of them, lives over in Russia, because he's so afraid of being taken out here. And he was a whistleblower against all the data collection and all the stuff that they can get into anything that they want. It's scary to think that... Oh, my Siri thought I said Siri instead of scary. But, you know, you think about all the stuff that we have, that we do throughout the day, and we take for granted. Most people look at government as, you know, they want them to do more and want them to do take care of more. Well, a lot of people want them to do less. They should do less. They should have less intrusion into our daily lives. We should not be... I don't like being the world's police force. But we have to tell everybody what they have to do and what they have to, you know, they can't do this, can't do that. And I don't like that. I don't want to be the world's police force. some people need help. I don't mind helping them. But the problem is we went over and we liberated Kuwait. And what did we get out of it? Nothing. Boop. Zero. And right now, you look at it in the last debate, it came up, the conversation where they start talking about 9/11, and actually Donald Trump was booed over comments over 9/11. He was during the debate. He said Jeb Bush was talking about how his brother kept us safe, and he goes, "How did he keep us safe? When the World Trade Center went down, but it said Donald Trump was repeatedly booed by GOP presidential debate audience Saturday in South Carolina when he criticized former President George W. Bush for failing to keep America safe on September 11th. How did he keep us safe? At the World Trade Center went down, the party fronter said to Booz, "I lost hundreds of friends. The World Trade Center went down during the reign of George W. Bush. He kept us safe. That is not safe." Rival Marco Rubio immediately cut in and cast blame on former President Clinton. So you look at you're talking about who is involved or whatever. There is a lot of talk and about so many things going on since 9/11. There's so many weird things that happened on 9/11 that don't make any sense. You look at I had several different episodes of or programs where I had the makers of Loose Change. I've had Dr. James Fetzer on, who talked about 9/11. The problem with 9/11 is if you start to talk about anything that's a conspiracy theory or something like that, I don't believe you. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. You're a crackpot, psycho. Well, if you look, people research into 9/11 so strongly into this. They go piece by piece. You look at the Oklahoma City bombing, where they blew up the front of that building. They detonated the truck. Was it McVeigh? Did that building come down? Nope. The whole front of that building is gone. There's a video out. This comes on Above Top Secret. It's an article, and it has the sound waves. And it says, and it shows the seismic sound waves for the World Trade Center 7, that was not hit by a plane. It says that deep explosion is the only clearly audible explosion artifact in this World Trade Center video collapse. Well, you look at the collapse of World Trade Center 7. I know I'm making a big jump going from, a debate to World Trade Center 7. But you look at World Trade Center 7 when it collapsed. It was like 8 or 10 minutes or whatever before it collapsed. The media was reporting from the British media was reporting that it had collapsed, and it was still in the video behind them. So who reported it collapsed? There's a lot of weird stuff that happened on 9/11 that don't make any sense. Especially the one that gets me, the building on World Trade Center 7 falls like somebody imploded the building in freeforms. But you look at the Pentagon. Got more cameras than they can imagine. I guarantee you walk anywhere near that, you're on camera. And you were on camera on 9/10, 9/9, 9/11. Why any of those would be shut off and moved? If they were, somebody needs to be fired and somebody needs to be brought up on charges of why they were moved or why they were turned off. You look at I talked about it last Friday. They were talking about the power in the building in the Twin Towers was shut down the weekend before 9/11 in the upper floors. They talk about some of the companies that had databases, and they told them that they were going to be without power. And a lot of those had electronic locks. So there's no way they could secure the doors. The doors were, if it wasn't locked by a key, then it was wide open. Anybody could walk in. So it's a scary thing to think that our government, or I don't know if it's our government, but something was missed on 9/11. To think that all those hijackers with box cutters, that people wouldn't be able to stand up. I guarantee if they got a box cutter and they maced, I tell you what, you could take some people out. Because if they maced a spot in the hallway, you could do is take the, I'm going to run through that mace and take somebody out. I'm sorry. If you have any, if somebody hijacks a plane with a box cutter, you got a whole bunch of blankets you can wrap around your arms and your neck that you can protect yourself. I mean, I'm sorry, I would rather go down fighting than to sit in your seat. You know, we had, what I was talking about earlier, right before we went to break, we were talking about, let me see here. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. This is on the Washington Examiner. It says, President's silence on cop deaths ripped. He says, I'll save your spot at funeral, mocks the sheriff. It said President Obama's silence on wave of recent killing of police officers is being ripped by law enforcement. One of Maryland sheriff taking to Facebook to mock that he will save you a spot at the next to me at this week's funeral for 2 deputies. It says, Mr. President, your silence about these events speaks volumes. It says, P.S. I'll be standing outside in the cold next week with my deputies for the funeral of Hartford County deputies. I'll save you a spot next to me. It says, Facebook, Carroll County Sheriff Jim Deweese. His post blasted throughout law enforcement social media and highlighted by the National Sheriff's Association has become part of a rallying cry among cops. There's been 8 within this year. Says the Fraternal Order of Police even called on Obama to expand hate crimes or hate crime laws to those targeting police. And a letter also posted on Facebook, FOP President Chuck Canterbury wrote, Mr. President, that is 8 officers, 6 in less than a week, who have been gunned down by assailants striking from ambush or career criminals with active warrants who decided they would not be taken into custody. No matter the cost, enough is enough. This must end. Deweese made public the belief among many law enforcement the president is only concerned about violence when somebody is shot by a police officer. It says his Facebook posting came after 2 nearby Hartford County deputies were gunned down. They were gunned down in a gun-free zone. Says, I understand that you're a very busy man and you're being pulled in multiple directions every day of the week, wrote Jim Deweese. But when my president doesn't take the time to openly recognize the sacrifices that brave men and women of law enforcement make each day to keep domestic peace, I'm disappointed. I suggest that the same deputies walked into a restaurant and without provocation shot and killed an innocent man, you and your staff would quickly whisk your family away to Washington for your future speech to make an example of police officers nationwide, he added. In interviews with secrets and other national sheriffs expressed similar concern. We are the Vietnam veterans of this generation. The Oakland County, Michigan Sheriff Michael Bouchard. What is everybody else's responsibility when it comes to reacting to police, he said. This administration has nothing to say. When your duty as a citizen, when the officer says stop. Deweese concluded on Facebook, for me, Mr. President, it has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat, black or white, male or female, but it has everything to do with leading or following. I'm not shocked that you have openly reached out or acknowledged public to recently rash of deaths in law enforcement, but I'm tremendously disappointed. And Canterbury added, elected officials are quick to console the families of the fallen and praise us for difficult and dangerous work that we do every day. Yet too many are silent when the hate speech floods the media with calls for violence against police or demands that you police stand down or give them room to destroy. The violence will not end until the rhetoric does, which is why I have called on Congress and your administration to work with us to address the surge of violence against police by expanding the federal hate crimes to protect police. We must stand up and reject completely, without qualification, the use of violence, terror, and hate as an instrument of social change. That is not who we are as Americans. You know, that's a great letter to him, but still have not, you know, all they do is they like to do is talk to them when they've done something wrong, or investigate them, like they investigated the department in Ferguson to say they were racist. I don't know, maybe they were. But when 8 officers died this year, 6 in a week, and he doesn't come out and say anything or have anything to say about about the tragedy of that, that tells the people that are doing the crimes that it's okay. They don't care. This administration doesn't matter to them. So, you know, we unless you've walked a beat, patrolled the street, worked in a jail, stood on a post, whether it's being a police officer, military standing on guard, you don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like to make a traffic stop and have the hair on the back of your neck stand up because you think something's wrong. You pull over a guy and you find drugs, heroin, and guns in his car, and you don't realize that, you know, if the situation could have went down totally different and you couldn't have went home to your family. Been in that situation. I'm just happy that when I was a law enforcement officer that I was able to make it home. I have lots of friends of mine. Blue lives matter, black lives matter, white lives matter. Every life matters. What you have to learn to do is live with each other. It just bothers me to see law enforcement officers totally disrespected. There was a Facebook post that went out, and it was earlier in the week, and it says, "Would you stop and get involved to help a law enforcement officer and put your life in danger?" I said, in a heartbeat. Been there, done that. You get into a situation where proverbial, you know what, hits the fan. Yes, I pulled a perpetrator off. Before I was a police officer, I was working in security, and I pulled a guy who jumped a police officer, and I proceeded to introduce him to an ambulance. And the officer thanked me, and to this day, we are still friends. Been a long time ago. Way back. Probably 1986. So, I think he works for the U.S. Marshals now. But, I mean, you run into that situation. You don't know what you're going to do until you come into it. But I'll tell you what. I could not stand there and do nothing. And I don't know how the president can stand there and not say a word and not get up and talk about how law enforcement are being pretty much targeted. And the first thing that comes out is, well, they're racist. I'm sorry, but most law enforcement officers, it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. I would say 99.9% of them. I guarantee you there's racist in every job, every area, and there's racist goes both ways. There's white people that hate black people, and there's black people that hate white people. Those people are just raised. They're raised and trained that way. I was never raised to be that way. I have nothing against, it doesn't matter who you are. So, when you look at you know what these officers, there was a career day at a school, and there was an article written out where the school told the Border Patrol people they were uninvited to come to career day because they didn't want to offend people. I'm like, yeah, heaven forbid to have the career be of somebody in law enforcement protecting our country. I saw an article today where kids were standing. It was two kids, and the one kid was standing on the United States flag. The thing that bothers me is the teachers teach that. The teachers instill that, I don't know what you want to call it, this self-righteous, thinking that everything is for me. That screw this country's screwing us. Well, I hate to tell you, but this country, there's a lot of people that fought and died for that flag to give you the ability to stand on that flag. That's the same ignorant person that expects the government to pay for your college. Okay, so let's say everything government pays for your college. And everything becomes all this free stuff and free health care and free this and free that. Well, are you going to want to take a chance as a business owner and take a chance at making over $200,000 and some a year? Because if you do, your taxes are going to go way up, and which is not hard to get there. So you make over $200,000 and some a year, and your taxes go way up. Hell no. Well, why take a chance at running their own business and trying to stick their neck out to become an entrepreneur? And why would they want to do that? So I mean, right now, I talked about this last Friday. I was looking at some business listings, and about $30,000 to turn the key to open the business, and that's not having any product or widgets or what do you want to call them to sell. That's the lease for the building for a year and insurance for the building for a year. That's not counting employees. That's not counting product. I mean, it's depending on what you're going to do. I mean, so a lot of people don't realize so you have automatically $30,000 from your business is gone. That's not counting taxes. So you look at states that have high business taxes, all of a sudden they move over to another state. Look at right now what's going on. What happened in what companies just left to go to Mexico? 1,000 jobs left out of Chicago. They made Ritz crackers and Oreos. I don't know what else they made, but that's two products I know they made that I won't buy again. And Carrier, they make the air conditioners. Get a load of this. Heating and air conditioner company Carrier, which announced or has announced it'll move 1,400 American jobs to Mexico, received $5.1 million from the Obama administration in stimulus cash. Said local media reported the Department of Energy awarded Carrier $5.1 million in clean energy tax credits in December 2013 for its Indianapolis facility. They plan to use the money to expand production at its Indianapolis facility to meet increasing demand for its eco-friendly condensing gas furnace product line. It says energy efficient buildings with the support of $5.1 million in 48C program tax credits. Carrier Corporation will expand production at its Indianapolis facility to meet increasing demands. And it goes through and it says, at the time, John Gibbons, director of Carrier's residential product and platform strategy, said the cash has been instrumental in helping Carrier's Indianapolis manufacturing facility accelerate production. It's despite the money, the company announced last week they decided to move 1,400 jobs to Mexico. Local union representatives will discuss the move with Carrier. Fox 59 reported that some employees will be entitled to severances benefits, including access to the company's Employee Scholar Program, which pays for tuition, books, and fees at accredited higher education institutions. So it says, an employee documented her coworker's outrage, and they got a video of it. If you go on to, this is on Breitbart, and you can watch the video. It says, today's surprise announcement was without warning and incredibly disappointing, said Mayor Joe Hogsett. While I'm obviously concerned about the economic impact, my top priority is the well-being of hardworking families affected by this decision. A job lost in any part of the country affects us all. And I believe that these are the times we must come together as one city to lift up our neighbors. So you look at, people don't think about this. With this free trade stuff coming from Mexico, we get screwed. They send the business over there, they make it there, and then they ship it back with no not charging any import tariff. The same thing happened with Maytag. Maytag was in Galesburg, Illinois. They moved their plant to Mexico. And everybody talks about how, Donald Trump talks about building a wall and making the Mexican people pay for it. Mexico pay for it. And Mexico says, we're not going to pay for it. Well, he's going to have them pay for it indirectly through import tariffs, which he can set on them. We need to get those companies back in the United States, working here, being made here. They had a local company here called Isabel Bloom. I talked about this before. They talked about having their casts. They do all different types of casts for like stone figurines and stuff like that. And they're all painted and different things. They're really cool. I mean, it's a local business here that does it. And they have tons of different designs. Well, they announced that they were going to try to save money and have their casts made in China. Well, their sales dropped to next to nothing. Because the neatness or the excitement of the product was that it was locally made. I don't want to buy a cast from China. If I wanted that, I could go online and order anything. I wanted something that was made local by an artist here. It's like I will not purchase Maytag because they left. They screwed over the people of Galesburg, Illinois. And if you sit there and go, a couple months down the road, and you sit there and go, well, I need a washer and dryer. Oh, well, they're kind of get a hell of a deal on that Maytag over there. Yeah, they screwed over Americans, but it's a hell of a deal. You just lost any credibility because you're screwing yourself. I work in the golf business. I run my own golf shop, which is about the golf business for a golf pro at a golf course is a tough business because so many people will buy on eBay or they'll buy on Craigslist or they'll buy. I see people that'll come to me and they'll go, hey, what's wrong with this club? I said, where'd you buy it? Online. And I'm going, well, it's a knockoff. It's a fake. No, it isn't. No, it can't be. And I'm like, man, it's a fake because I can tell you. I mean, they have, they think that, you're buying it at the golf shop, it's going to be more expensive. That's a common misconception. Well, it can't be because I would never sell anything. So I have to be in prices with all these box stores. But the problem is, people will go buy it from the box store and not think once about going in and buying it from a local business owner. They'll buy it from some big box store that's not, the proceeds or profits are going somewhere else. Might not even be going to a company that's from this country. and I'm not saying buy it for me, but we have a weekend where it's like it's eat in your own backyard. It's called or something like that. They call it where people go and they you rent a hotel room in your hometown and you're giving back to your community. Make sure you go to restaurants and smaller businesses that you would not normally go see. Go shop in your own backyard. You know, you get a lot of these small businesses that get drowned out by big business. It's hard to do is compete. You think everybody thinks that because you're a business owner you make a ton of money. No. I think my merchandise sales dropped by over $15,000 last year. Just sales. That's not counting profit. That's just sales. eBay and all these box stores and like Dick's Sporting Goods and Dunham's and all Walmart, Kmart, Target, all of them sell golf equipment or golf stuff. So it's hard business to be in. And it's any business. I mean, you look at the competition for car sales. I went to the auto show last weekend here, local. We have an auto show that goes every spring. It's the Iowa, Illinois Regional Auto Show. And I was shocked. I've gone through it. And I mean, there were some beautiful cars. They had, it was I'm trying to think of the name. It was a 2017 Ford F-150 Kings Ranch Edition. And I was like, holy crap, this thing was just a huge truck. And it had 7 cameras on it. And I was like, 7 cameras? You know, you think about it. But it was for like towing and it had one for fifth wheel support. So when you could back up into a trailer and it had a camera that you could take and mount it onto the back of on the back end of your trailer that you're towing. So it was like a Wi-Fi camera. A lot of them had Wi-Fi hotspots. You know, they're changing and stuff like that, or they hook with your phone, and they do your your Apple CarPlay, as they call it, new Apple Maps. But you know what? The thing that surprised me most was, I don't know what happened, but Toyota wasn't there. Nissan wasn't there. Porsche wasn't there. Audi wasn't there. And there's one dealership in town that has all 4 of those franchises. And something must have pissed them off to where they didn't show up. So I was just like going, huh. I didn't notice it until afterwards. I mean, they had some Alfa Romeo and some, they had a nice Bentley convertible there that was really sweet. About $200,000. Yeah. I'm sorry. I couldn't drive one of those. God, we were parking in that lot and it was so tight. I mean, it was crazy. But you know, it was neat to get out and see all the cars, looking at different. Some of them you go to get in them and I mean, which was nice because you can take your kids down and they can get in any car, pretty much. I mean, they had some 2017 models that were locked up that, you know, they bring them down there as a, I don't know, to put it on display to get you excited about it, and then they lock the doors so you can't get in them. But most of them were, you could get in almost everything. I mean, there was probably 100 cars or more, maybe, if not more. But I mean, some were comfortable, some were not comfortable, some were good looking, some were ugly. But I mean, and that's, you know, one person's good looking car might be somebody else's think it's ugly as ever. They had the new 2017 Vet, or it might have been 16. I'm not sure, but you could sit in it. Oh, it was phenomenal. They had the new Camaro. That was sweet looking. They had the new Mustang. It was kind of an orange color with racing stripes over the hood. Neat looking. Too small. I used to have a Mustang a long time ago. They had me. I'm more of a SUV, but no, it's they had some really nice cars. That but the funny thing about it, my son, he's 10, my youngest. First place he got into every car because they had all the some of them had the doors open or whatever, or people were getting in and almost every one of them had the trunks open. He wanted to climb in the trunk. Every time he was in the truck, or if it was a pickup truck, he was in the back of the truck, in the back bed. When I was a kid, you used to be able to ride back there. Now you can't. Too many people get injured, which makes sense. But it's it was fun because I like to be able to do is take him down there, and he just has a blast because it's. Nobody tells him he can't get anything. Although he was in one car, and the guy went to lean in to look in, and he almost foreheaded him right with the door when he was getting out. I was like going, oh. I was like, no. But yeah, it was a cool show because I'm possibly in the market for a car maybe later this year. I looked at you see the commercial for the Chevy Impala. Man, it's a comfortable car. Wow. Chevy's really done a lot. I mean, because years ago it was, it's changed. They made it really aerodynamic looking and really, they got to make the inside really high-techy for a lot of these younger crowd to get involved in it, get excited with it. I'm a big fan of the Audi. Right now, my car is a little bit older. It looks. Everybody talks about how, oh wow, your car is really fancy, and I'm like, if you only knew it was 11 years old. It's a 2005, and it looks. Everybody thinks it's brand new, but it's not. It's just good shape. Yeah, it's. We were looking at different cars, and we got talking about horsepower and stuff. My son's big into cars, and he loves talking about how fast and how much horsepower they have. And we got to looking on it's a website called 0 to 60, and it talks about 0 to 60 times on cars. And there was a Ford Mustang, and it was back in 2000. I'm not quite sure how old it was. I can't remember exactly. It was 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. And I'm like, what? If you accidentally misgeared or whatever, or released the clutch too early, you could be about 2 blocks away before the other guy takes off. That's just crazy. 1.9. That's moving. I enjoy that taking off really fast. I'm not a high speed. I've been doing 135 in a patrol car before, and stuff like that. But I don't get excitement about going. We had a guy. Me and my partner were driving along, and thank God my partner was a good driver because I was riding along in the passenger seat, and we're doing 120. Our Chevy Caprice. You go 121, and the governor would kick in, and it would slow it back down, get about 119 again, and then you get back. We're going to an officer in trouble call, and it's standard is if it doesn't matter what it is, if it's a fire truck, ambulance, police car coming up behind you, it's night, you've got to see the lights. You move to the right. So what does he do? He moves to the right, decides, oops, moves back to the left, and we almost hit him. and my partner bald spotted a set of tires doing 120 miles an hour. I got to give him credit. Marcus, good friend of mine, how he kept us from not wiping out, going in the ditch, because at 120 we're dead. And he used to laugh at me because I'd be sitting there eating French fries while he'd be driving. Like if we ever got stopped and got something to eat. He goes, how can you eat fries when we're going 120 miles an hour? I said, well, I always figured if I'm dead with a fry sticking out of my mouth, it's not going to matter. I said, I'm dead. You wipe out this speed, who cares? And he goes, yeah, you're probably right. I said, having a fry in my mouth is not going to make any difference whether I live or die. So, we're about time to take another break. Actually, I'm over time. I kind of missed my second break in there. So we're taking a quick break. Got to talk about some what you don't do to a pit bull. We'll be talking about that when we get back. And you never know what the padding is in those bras. So we'll be back here shortly. Maybe, if I can get my audio to work.
Bullseye.
Today?
Finally, as a mother, I want to share about St. Julian's macaroons. I am concerned about my child's health, so I pack for his lunchbox, and after school, I give him St. Julian's macaroons as a healthy alternative to many of the store-bought foods. There are no preservatives and only 100 calories, and he really likes them. So find them in the freezer section at your local supermarket or order online today at www.macaroons.com.
Hey there, sexy. This is comedian Jenny Lavoie. You can catch me with the rest of the gang every Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Night Talk with Joe Ross, exclusively on Armed Radio Global. Mwah!
Hey, this is your girl, Jay Monique.
And this is Sarah, a.k.a. Chulita Sarita.
And make sure you listen to us on Armed Radio Global. Catch us on Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This one's explosive.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at route106motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. route106motors.com.
Hey, Joe Rocks, it's Louis Avis, straight from Chi-Town. Call and talk about our website, www.hotsaucevault.com. We got everything you can think of out there, Joe. The hottest hot sauces, not for wimps, mild, medium sauces. We got barbecue sauces, snacks, some of our gift ideas and gag gifts that you can go out and check us out at www.hotsaucevault.com. Hope to talk to you again on your radio show. Kick-ass show. Had a great time last week. Hope to hear from you soon. Take care, Joe. hotsaucevault.com.
Let's get this thing started.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're listening to Sammy V. I mean, I'm not gonna rap or sing or play any sort of music. I'm just here to tell you that you should listen to my new radio show. That's right, my new radio show, live on Armed Radio Global. It's every Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be there and listen to Thoughts for Food, the radio show. Or better known as Candy for Your Ears.
This is Kimmy Pops, and you're listening to Arms Radio, home of the big guns.
Hey everyone, this is Monica Ursino. Be sure to check out my music on WARM, Boston's digital dance station. And you can catch me on Night Talk with Joe Rock, Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, exclusively on Armed Radio Global.
If you're looking to reward, celebrate, recognize, or advertise, get help from the pros at Creative Marketing. Custom imprinted products to give that event a lasting impression. Log on to Creative Marketing on Facebook and click the Call Us button. With over 700,000 products, we're sure to find what is right for you. Remember, think Creative Marketing for all your adware needs.
Are you hangry? Know the signs. Uncontrollable yelling.
Why aren't you egg rolls?
Hallucination.
Sushi.
Pants discomfort.
I hate you, pants.
Hangry. It can happen to anyone. Fortunately, there's E24, the app that tells hunger to shut up.
Egg rolls. Thanks, Snoop.
E24. In my medical opinion, it's the best way to order food online, baby.
Hey everybody, Mike Allen here. You can hear me live every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on TuneIn Radio. Or you can visit my website at www.ontheairwithmikeallen.com for more showtimes, updates, and replays. So remember, every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, on the air with Mike Allen, right here on Armed Radio Global.
And we're back. So I was talking to you right before we went to the break, talking about what not to do to a pit bull. I own a pit bull. Actually, it's a pit bull cross, pit bull lab mix. Great dog. Great guard dog. Do not come by our house if you... he will let you know if somebody's there. I mean, I don't think he'd attack anybody. I wouldn't take the chance. I wouldn't let it. So we had it weeks ago when we had the caucus going on and everybody coming to the door, knocking on all the doors, for all the different candidates. He was not happy. But so this came out of Austin, Texas, the Empire Herald. This guy named Blake Warren, a 38-year-old from Travis County man, hospitalized due to serious injuries after he was attacked by a pit bull. Reportedly, the Travis County man was attempting to sexually abuse the stray dog near his home. According to a witness, Warren, a longtime resident with documented mental health issues, was seen luring the stray dog in the backyard of his home using packaged meat. After successfully attracting the animal into his yard, Warren used the packaged meat to distract the pit bull as he sexually assaulted it. Without giving his actions proper thought, the failed attempt to penetrate the animal went horribly wrong. Apparently, it says, the man's penis was ripped off by the dog. I'll tell you what, good boy. Says, I saw Blake from the window of my kitchen speaking loudly to the dog, calling the dog sexy. It says, first of all, I couldn't believe he was able to get the dog into his yard, peacefully as he did. But after he did, what he was doing to that poor animal is beyond imaginable. As the dog was eating some of the meat on the ground, Blake pulled his pants down and started penetrating it. All of a sudden, the dog violently attacked Blake, tearing off Blake's penis. I could just hear the screams of agony from the poor disturbed guy repeating in his head. You know, you think about this. You would like to see when guys rape women that this is what happens to them. So, the dog ripped his penis off. Well, he deserved it. He deserved what he got. You know, speaking about weird, I don't know, we call it weird. I'm talking about, there was let's see if I can find an article about it. It was, it bothered me when I saw it come across, and it said, there's a video with it, and it says, let me see here. Oh, here we go. This is on PamelaGeller.com. It says, high-profile imam urges Denmark to allow Muslim child brides. It's part of their culture, they say. They're just following Muhammad, the perfect example, who married his favorite wife, Aisha, when she was 6. So, you know, everybody goes, oh, no, you know, they don't believe that this is an actual report. They believe it's not true. There's a video going on Facebook where a Christian man from Canada talks to a Muslim man in a crowd. They're both a crowd, and they're talking back and forth. The Muslim man stated that Islam states the woman becomes an adult when she has her period, and when she becomes an adult and even if she marries before she's an adult, which if she has her period when she's 8 or 9, they consider her an adult. So if she gets married at 6, they would abstain from sex with her until she had her period, and when she had her period, then they would. Here in the United States, we call that pedophilia. But in their Muslim religion, they call it, that's the way their law is. And you listen to him. This is the way he talks about it. If you don't believe me, search it online. I was shocked when I saw that. I was just like going, we here in the United States, the average person would not think of anything like that. So if they're trying to urge Denmark to allow child brides because it's part of their culture, what are they going to do when they come to the United States here? If we have, I'm not saying that if we have another liberal judge to replace Antonin Scalia, that it would change, they would allow child brides. But who knows what would happen? You look at one of the other articles. Oh, this is an article that came out, that was out today. This is another Pamela Geller on PamelaGeller.com. It says, and this is a video. It says, how to beat your wife according to Islam. And this is, after watching the video, make sure that you view Gloria Steinem's appearance on Bill Maher's show last week where she defended Muhammad and Islam. Here are some hadiths of Muhammad on wife beating from Sunan Abu Dawood. It said, Muhammad, when one of you inflicts a beating, he should avoid beating the face. It said, Muhammad, a man will not be asked as to why he beat his wife. The principle means that the man cannot be not required to answer to Sharia court for beating his wife. Muhammad, do not beat your wife as you beat your slave girl. Muhammad, they are not the best among you, said of women who complained to Muhammad when he gave permission for their husbands to beat them. So, I mean, you watch this video. It says, and that's the mentality that you receive, that it's okay for Sharia law and the Muslim religion to beat your wife. If we don't protect our way of life, it's going to be gone. You look at Germany right now. Germany is in, I would say it probably killed their pretty much killed their, what you would call, tourism has got to be just about done in Europe. I mean, I wouldn't want to go over there right now. But they currently have a tally of Muslim migrant crimes in Germany. And this is the first 4 weeks of 2016. Over 300 cases of sexual harassment, 510 total cases of very bad crimes with violent beatings. Verified police documents and newspaper clips based on police publications documenting rape and sexual violations of children, young girls, and boys, women by migrants and refugees who published by the German police in the past 30 days alone. Also, documented assaults, beating, injuries done in public by refugees for pleasure, robbery, and sexual attacks by refugees and migrants in Germany, Austria, Switzerland. Most sources are verifiable screenshots of the original documents, even with phone numbers of the Associated Police Department. The youngest victims of sexual molestation are 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 years old. There are over 30 documented cases of sexually molested and raped children by refugees in the past 30 days in Germany alone. And people want to ignore it. They don't even report on it today. This goes on every day over in Europe. Where's it in the media? Where's it in the mainstream media? They go like this and they ignore it because they don't want to. They don't want to report on it. I don't understand why they're afraid to report on it. What's the purpose of ignoring it? Or if they're told to ignore it. So we're talking about, speaking of, right before we went to break, I was talking about what's your bra padded with. Well, apparently in Australia, they seized meth-filled bra inserts in Australia, 1 billion narcotics haul. Australian police have seized more than 1 billion, in U.S. it'd be 712 million, in crystal methamphetamine or ice, some concealed in gel bra inserts, in one of the biggest country's biggest drug busts. Somebody is not going to be living till tomorrow. Because I tell you what, whoever got tipped off or whoever tipped them off, I bet you they will probably, if they're not already dead, they probably would have, because, these criminal organizations will kill them. But it says 3 Hong Kongers and a Chinese national were arrested during the operation, which Justice Minister Michael Keenan described as the largest seizure of liquid methamphetamine in Australian history. This has resulted in 3.6 million individual hits of ice being taken off the street with a street value of 1.26 billion, he said. This is the largest seizure of methamphetamine to date as a result of organized criminals targeting the lucrative Australian ice market from offshore. Australian Federal Police Commander Chris Sheenan said the joint operation with Chinese authorities began in December 2015 when the Australian Border Force examined a shipping container out of Hong Kong and Sydney. It originated in mainland China. The shipping container was found to contain gel bra inserts, and hidden inside those gel bra inserts were 190 liters of liquid methamphetamine. So you can get support and get high all at the same time. So, you know, I don't know. I guess you would consider that being ingenious. That they would be able to do is put that into a bra insert. I mean, I would never have thought of that, but I mean, that's a lot of drugs to be taken off the street. It says the seizure was referred to an Australian federal police who began an investigation when traced an additional 530 liters of liquid methamphetamine to 5 storage units in Sydney where they were found inside art supplies. So it tells me there's a lot more that is coming in. I hate to think of how much drugs come into the United States every day. You know, it's almost impossible to stop it. So, you look at I don't know how they stop it. I mean, you think about it as law enforcement. I mean, we got so many different law enforcement agencies. Hardly any of them know what each other do. You look at it. You have, if you list it out that work for the government, you got Border Patrol, you got ATF, you got just so many. You got FBI, CIA, Secret Service, they do stuff. You watch, like, NCIS. My wife should be a NCIS investigator. She watches it all the time. That's her favorite show. So, but it's it's amazing how much is brought into this country, and we just we're just oblivious to it. So, we got, unless it's a dumb crime or something like that, we hardly even hear about it. Unless it's outrageous or here's one I think is pretty good. It says, fired Burger King worker takes it out on uniform. It said things got heated at a Florida restaurant. A Burger King worker apparently wanted to have it his way as he was fired from the Florida restaurant where he worked. So he allegedly flame-broiled his uniform. That's what 24-year-old Timothy Alejandro Ortiz is accused of doing after he was terminated from Palencia's location last week in St. Augustine. Yeah, that'll tend to do it. It'll light your uniform on fire. Was it 8-year-old steals mom's gun, robs grocery store? It says 8-year-old boy accused of attempted to rob a Florida grocery store with his mother's gun will not face charges, the state announced. So, I mean, you think of you think of an 8-year-old. 8-year-old probably doesn't have I wouldn't think has the mental capacity to understand what theft is. I don't think. Maybe they do. Here's one. This would never happen in the Midwest. At least I hope it would never. But a man accused of tossing a gator into Wendy's drive-thru window. Well, I guess you're getting, ticked off at your Wendy's employees being a little slow. So what do? They throw a live gator in there. Man, that'd freak me out. That'd probably ruin my day. I've only seen a few of them, where they're not in like a caged area, but where they're actually out. A couple of the golf courses we played down in Orlando, wouldn't be golfing down there. But I would not want to have one be thrown in the window at me. That would kind of ruin my day. If you there's one today. It says on openminds.tv, it's almost every day there's a UFO sighting. It says Indiana Black Triangle UFO witnesses asked, what would Fox Mulder do? This came out February 12th. It says Indiana UFO hovers and moves to the ground level, February 11th. February 9th. California couple described multiple UFO events. February 8th. UFO spotted low over Alaskan Harbor area. February 15th. Idaho UFO emits smaller object to ground level. I mean, do we have something that I think one of these days we're going to be shocked by we got to feel that there's more people out or more, the space is it's crazy to think of how far we could see with a telescope, and we still can't see to the end or the next galaxy. So you look at us, it's like when, I guess it would be when they were sailing across the ocean and people thought the world was flat. They thought they were going to sail right off the edge, and well, they found out that the earth was round, and they went around it. So, looking at it like that, we have the mentality that the space, that nobody else is out there. I mean, I think we're going to find out I think most people, or a lot of people already know, that, like, what is it, Roswell? I mean, I think we try to do is keep our, what we don't believe in can't be true. It's like you get people that are atheists, they don't believe in God. And, what's funny is, and I saw a great line today, is atheists don't hate fairies and don't hate unicorns and don't hate Santa Claus or stuff like that because they know it's not true. But they hate God because they know it is true. So, I don't know why. One lady I went to school with, she went all through Catholic school and she hates God. I don't know what taught. She said she had her awakening and woke up. Well, apparently She woke up on the wrong side of the. So I just laugh at some of the stuff she posts. I used to follow her on Facebook, and I had to turn it off because all it did was this. I mean, it was. I'd rather watch paint dry. Man, I don't care about somebody having a difference of opinion, but when it doesn't matter. It's like I have one gentleman that I'm good friends with, but he didn't like my topic of Sandy Hook, and he got mad, so he deleted my post. And I was only posting what my show has come across and people I've interviewed that have told me. You look at, all the stuff that's gone on with that, it doesn't make sense. It's like 9/11. You look at, is it insensitive to feel that more people were involved in JFK's assassination than just Lee Harvey Oswald? No. Do majority people, I would say 60 to 70% of the people, believe that there was more people involved than just Lee Harvey? I would say yes. Do a lot of people believe that Sandy Hook, some weird stuff happened that would never happen at a crime scene investigation? Yes. I can show you evidence. I can show you pictures. I can show you stuff that at least make you wonder what is going on. I got 2 people that I know that have been researching into it very heavily, and they both tell me, and multiple people tell me, that it was a false flag. It was designed as a exercise that went live. I just can't believe that many people can keep that a lid on it. And the thing about it is, if you start to come out, they will kill you. That's the scary thing. Whether Justice Antonin Scalia was killed or if he died in his sleep with his hands crossed across his chest and a pillow over his face, we'll never know. But if they were to come out in Sandy Hook, they will kill them. You look at the stuff that was coming out about President Obama way back in 2008, whether it was a heart attack or not. But I'm just saying there's people that'll make you keep your mouth shut, will kill you. That's what's the sad part of it. And if I die of a heart attack from the shows that I've been doing, check for fish, because I don't like fish. And if I have any in my system, that means it was either Lent Friday night, or because I mean, if I have that substance in my body, that would be rare. So, all right, well, it's that time of the night. It is time to call it a night. Remember, don't be afraid to ask questions it's your duty as a citizen in the United States. And just because, when I get laugh at the comment is, when you talk about the different candidates and they go, well, they all lie. What the hell are we at? If they're all lying, then why are we electing them? If it's okay to try to get the one that lies the least or lies that make you feel the best, then we got a problem. There's a serious problem with this country. If we're worried about is who lies and who doesn't, and don't have any morals to stand on, well, there is no hope. You look at all these civilizations that have gone under, thinking that they, they can control what they did. I mean, you look at Russia. Russia pretty much imploded. And now they're coming back. You look at East Germany. I mean, you look at how going way back, big governments that have gone under and crashed and burned. It happens. So I'm trying to get I'll keep it to, I got several people I'm working on trying to get them on the show, but I did get I'm going to get a call back. I already did find out from the FBI, and we're going to talk down the road on the FBI fight or flight video they have for active shooters, which would be good information to have and understand from the FBI's perspective. If you are a concealed carrier or if you're in a business that comes under an active shooter, and what to expect, what to do, and how to do is handle yourself and what you should expect from law enforcement. So hopefully that'll be within the next maybe a couple weeks or so. I mean, they're awful pretty busy, so when they get time. But I did talk to somebody today that they will be getting back with me. So everybody, make sure you have a great night, great week. Make sure you listen to all the other shows. And I'll see you again on Friday. So remember, most of all, be safe.